What's happening, boxing world? I am your host, Nice, and welcome back to the fight room. It's been quite a while. I have, not done a video, so I apologize to you subscribers and you guys tuning in. So welcome to the fight room. If you're not a subscriber, make sure you do for the latest boxing news, feedback, and entertainment. Now we're talking the doubleheader for this Saturday, September 26th, live on Showtime PPV, the Charlo's doubleheader. Now, it is going to be a 6-fight intermission in the first 3 fights after that intermission, and then the last 3 bouts. Now, the first fight, the main event of the first intermission, is going to be Charlo versus Sergey Derevyanchenko. Now, let's talk about that fight first, of course. Charlo, 30 wins, no losses, and 22 by knockout. And we got Sergey Derevyanchenko, 13 wins, 2 defeats, and 10 by knockout. I'm looking at it here. And, of course, Charlo got the WBC title and is going to be for that title. Now, we know that Sergey Derevyanchenko, his last fight was with Triple G, and it was a good fight overall, man. I think that, honestly, Derevyanchenko pulled that fight and should have got the victory. But, it is what it is, and they gave him the L, and Triple G won that fight. But if you guys never tuned in to watch that fight, have never seen it, I suggest you guys watch that fight because it was a pretty good fight. And to me, Derevyanchenko won that matchup. Now, it's funny that Charlo stated prior, probably a month or so ago, that Derevyanchenko didn't win that fight with Triple G. But I beg to differ. I think he did win. I guess he just didn't want to say that. I don't know why. Because it would have made him look even better if, come fight night, if he does beat Derevyanchenko. Looks better for his sake. But, he did say that Triple G won that fight. And I beg to differ. So, besides that fact, we're going to go and tell you the last 3 fights for Derevyanchenko, the Ukrainian, with 13 wins, 2 losses, and 10 by knockout. His last 3 fights, we know that it was with Daniel Jacobs back in October 27, 2018, and he lost that fight by unanimous decision. It was a close fight, and Danny Jacob pulled it. And then after that, he fought a guy by the name of Jack Kulke, which I didn't see that fight, and he won by unanimous decision, and that was on April 13, 2019. And then after that, he has fought, of course, Gennady Golovkin, which was April 13th, 2019, and, October 5th, 2019, and he lost by unanimous decision. So overall, his last 3 fights were quite good, except for the one with Jack Kulke, which I did not see, and I didn't even know that he fought that guy. But besides the fact, Derevyanchenko's best fights to me was with Danny Jacobs, of course. And when he fought Danny Jacob, Danny had 34 wins and 2 by knockout. You gotta excuse me, guys. 34 wins and 2 by knockout, and it was on October 27, 2018. Like I said, he lost by split decision to Danny Jacobs. But, in that fight, he did quite well, and it was a very, very close fight. I had Danny Jacobs winning by at least 2 rounds. It was a close matchup. Derevyanchenko was giving him some work. But, Jacobs was just too good of a boxer, very sharp. And, he won decisively on that fight. But with the one with Triple G, Gennady Golovkin, it was a different story. The first 2 or 3 rounds, you can see Golovkin doing his thing. But then out of nowhere, around the 3rd round or so, Derevyanchenko started doing his thing in that fight. And pushing and bringing the fight to Triple G. And Triple G even got stunned in that fight with a great body shot by Derevyanchenko. And, man, it was a good fight. It was actually a good fight. Derevyanchenko, to me, that was his best performance of his career. And he should have really got that victory. It's a shame they gave it to Triple G, but it is what it is. Now, let me talk about Charlo in his last 3 bouts. Of course, the last 3 bouts was with Matt Korobov, and we all know that night was when Charlo lost to Tony Harrison. and that was on December 22nd, 2018. He won that by unanimous decision. And then he fought Brian Adams June 29th, 2019. Brandon Adams, was the guy from the Contender Series. And that fight, it wasn't too thrilling. Jamal Charlo was doing his thing in that fight, making the fight happen. And, Brandon Adams couldn't really do nothing with Charlo. He was just a little bit too small for his size and trying to make the reach, and couldn't really find Jamal Charlo in that fight. And then, of course, he fought his last bout was nothing spectacular to watch, which was with Dennis Hogan, and he won by TKO, of course, and that was December 7th, 2019. So now we're here for this matchup against Derevyanchenko. Now, I think that Derevyanchenko, of course, man, it is his biggest test for Jamal Charlo, and I really think that he has a chance, Derevyanchenko, to pull that victory. I mean, he's a pretty focused fighter. He only has 13 wins, 2 defeats, of course, with Golovkin and Daniel Jacobs. But he has an impressive amateur background. And he even fought in the World Series of Boxing before. And, he was doing his thing. So he definitely has quite a great amount of experience, though his pro bout record doesn't seem to show that. So overall, man, I can't wait for that fight, man. And I think that Jamal Charlo is just going to have to bring some pressure on Derevyanchenko, push him back instead of Derevyanchenko pushing Jamal back. Because you know what? Derevyanchenko has that mentality to push a fighter back. And, he has that. He's pretty strong. He's short compared, of course, Jamal. But he has that size and physique and can push Jamal backwards and give him a tough fight. So overall, man, that fight is exciting to watch. That's going to be the first of the series of that night. And I can't wait for it, because after that fight, then they're going to start the second intermission. And it's going to be 2 bouts, I believe 3 bouts, and then it's going to be Jamal Charlo and Jason Rosario. Now, let me talk about that one. Jamal Charlo, 33 wins. Jamal Charlo, 33 wins, 1 defeat, 17 by knockout. And we got Jason Rosario with 20 wins, 1 defeat, and 14 by knockout. And just a quick say on Jason Rosario. Of course, he lost to Nathaniel Gallimore, on April 29, 2017. And Gallimore recently lost to Sebastian Fondora. Guys, excuse me. Sebastian Fondora by KO in the 6th round. Just something to think about. Jason Rosario went 12 rounds with Jorge Cota and won by split decision on April 20th, 2019. After this, he went and fought, of course, Jason Williams and defeated Williams in a spectacular fashion. We all seen that, see what happened there. So overall, man, a great fight. Jamal Charlo versus Jason Rosario. Now, this is what I think, man. I think that Jason Rosario is quite ready for this fight. He seems focused. He gotten better since his loss with Gallimore. And, even though he had a fight with Jorge Cota, some, guys know him to be losing to the Charlo brothers. But, Jason Rosario went 12 rounds and won by split decision. Something to think about, because after that, Jamal Charlo fought Cota and got rid of him in 2 rounds. So it doesn't necessarily mean that Jamal Charlo could easily defeat Jason Rosario. That's not how boxing works. Styles do make fights, and, it is what it is. That's how boxing is. And I believe that Jason Rosario definitely has the physique and the tallness and the power to actually shock Jamal Charlo. We've seen Jamal Charlo fight with Tony Harrison. The last one, because the last one, not for nothing, Tony Harrison was winning that bout. He really was winning that bout. And surprisingly so, Jamal came back and stunned him and dropped him and was able to finish him off. But if he would have went 12 rounds, it wouldn't have been a good night for Jermell Charlo, honestly. But with this fight, it's going to be exciting. It's for the unified titles, the WBC, which Jermell has. And Jason Rosario has the IBF title, which, of course, he got from Julian J. Rock Williams. And he has the WBA title. So it's going to be a unification bout. And that's going to be the main event for Saturday night. And, man, I'm excited, to be honest with you guys. I really am excited. I know you guys are excited. I just wanted to talk about it. I think that it's going to be a war. Honestly, I think that Jason Rosario is really focused and is going to bring that fight to Jermell Charlo. But in vice versa, Jermell Charlo knows that this is his time to show forth and see how great he is. Not only him, of course, Jermell Charlo as well, to signify their status in their division and be the top dogs and be talked about by all of the boxing media and so forth. And, you know, Lions only, like they said, you know, they want to really prove that they are the best in their division. And I believe that Jermell Charlo really is focused and ready to conquer. You know, he knows this is for the 3 titles and he doesn't want to come short, you know, and he almost came short with Tony Harrison. And I know he doesn't want to come short with this monster. They call him the banana from the Dominican Republic, Jason Rosario. And Jason Rosario, man, is pretty tall and pretty strong. So I believe, honestly, I really believe that Jermell Charlo is well mentally prepared for this bout. You know, he is not a slacker. I know that he works hard. And he's going to bring it to Jason Rosario. And vice versa, Jason Rosario is going to bring that fight to him as well. So it's going to be an exciting fight. Do I see a knockout? I believe there can be a knockout in this fight. Because, you know, Jason Rosario, like I said, when he catches you and he sees an open opportunity to attack, he attacks. You know, he doesn't pull back, honestly, if he sees an opening for the attack and he goes full lunging in for the attack. So, you know, a very dangerous fight, of course, overall, for Jermell Charlo come Saturday night, man. It's going to be spectacular. I can't wait. Jermell Charlo and Derevyanchenko, like I said, is going to be another great fight. And I believe that is, of course, the biggest test for Jermell Charlo's career to date. And, of course, he wants to make his name known in the middleweight division. He knows this is the chance of a lifetime. And I honestly believe that they're very focused, very, very focused. I think the most focused that there have been in a career, but in vice versa, Derevyanchenko is as well, and Jason Rosario as well. So overall, man, I think this Saturday is going to be a great night of action in the boxing world, and I hope you guys tune in. Of course, it's going to be pay-per-view, and I'm looking forward to watching it. Of course, I already ordered it. I am ready and set, and I hope you guys are as well. So tune in because it's going to be great. They also have a great undercard with Danny Roman facing Juan Carlos Pinero, I think is his last name. I forgot how to mention his name. But a dangerous fight for Danny Roman. A good fighter. Maybe a lot of you guys never heard of him. But, you know, he's a good fighter as well. But that's going to be a great fight too. And then we got Luis Neri that many of y'all heard of from the bantamweight division. A great fighter, good puncher. So even the undercards are going to be a good fight. 6 matchups overall for the night, I believe. It starts at 7 p.m. You guys got to tune in. It's going to be great for the sport. And I will be coming back with the post-fight. Hopefully that night. For sure. You already know it is your boy Nice. Like, comment, subscribe. Till then, most of all, don't forget, share the fight room.